The Phantom of the Opera is now playing in Toronto, Ontario. It is 2020. This is the world tour. This is its last stop. I luckily got to see it, and if you don't know, The Phantom of the Opera is my favorite musical of all time. I mean, I've had that Phantom Mask on the R2-D2 for over a year and a half probably. I own 4 copies. The awful film, the awful sequel, the 1943 OK film, which is very different, and then the best adaptation I've seen, the 25th anniversary. I now, as of recording this, I didn't have this before, going to see the show, big poster of it and my ticket, and beside my bed I have this design I made of the actors from the 25th anniversary, Ramin Karim, Lucira Bogus. So yeah, this has been my favorite musical for about 3 years now. I'm gonna do a video on it, explaining my whole story with it soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but stick around for that. But this show was fantastic. I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, he's just gonna say it's great because he loves the show. Well, it was great because this is the best musical of all time in my opinion. This and Les Mis are my two favorites. They kind of go back and forth, but for the past few years, this has been my favorite ever. And let's just talk about the cast. Derrick Davis plays the Phantom, or Eric as I'm going to call him, as that's his name in the book, and he is phenomenal. The role of Christine is played by one of the understudies, Kaitlyn Davis. They're not related. And then Raul is played by Jordan Craig, and all three of these actors are phenomenal. The rest of the cast too, they're all great. They're all listed here, but I don't want to read off all their names because it'd be boring. They all deserve massive praise of how good they are. They are so good in this. And a big standout to me in the first few songs was Carlotta, who is played by Trista Moldovan. I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong. She was amazing in the first act. Everyone's amazing. Both Andre and Fierman were hilarious. There were more jokes that they added in, which hadn't been in there before, as this is a new production, as basically all of them were. But there are some changes, and I will talk about those changes after I give my grade, just because there are some things I want to cover, and some of my opinions changed over the course of hours. I've seen all those, and I've seen the 1925 film too, just if you're wondering. I've never seen it live before, so this was probably the best theater experience, movies, musicals, any of that I've ever had. This is easily the best show that I've seen live, no question about it. Derrick Davis as the Phantom is fantastic. This guy is so good. It's all the emotion that's trapped inside of him. He uses his voice to convey it, as every great Phantom actor should, and he hits every single note perfectly. That's what all these actors do. They hit every single note the way they should. It's perfect. His music of the night is probably my favorite scene inside of the show from a musical standpoint. There's one scene visually, there's actually two, that I may prefer just a bit more, and that is the title song. I won't say exactly what happens yet until after my grade, but just some of the stuff they did, I was like, wait, how are they gonna do that? Oh wow, that's really cool. And it was amazing, and they use fire a lot, as, you know, he kind of knows magic, and they use that a bit in the 25th anniversary, but this, it's used so much more. It's so bright, and it's so cool, and the use of dry ice as the water is amazing. Kaitlyn Davis as Christine, you would not believe she's an understudy. I was just blown away by the stuff that she did. I was like, if this is the understudy, how good should the main girl be? I mean, I'm so glad I saw Kaitlyn Davis. I didn't know any of these actors before. I didn't recognize any of their names, which is a cool thing, seeing nobody that you've known before in this. Like, it's not any of the, you know, huge names that are in all the shows, like John Owen Jones or something like that. And I'm so glad that everyone was amazing. And Jordan Craig as Raul is one of my favorites. My favorite still is probably Hadley Fraser. Like, my favorites of each of the roles have been in 25th anniversary, Ramin Karim, Lucira Bogus, or yeah, I think that's how you say her name, and Hadley Fraser. But like, to top those guys, I don't think anyone can. All of these people come very close. They're all probably in my top 5, top 10 of their roles. And a really good thing about Jordan Craig, which I don't know if he was going for this, it probably was, it's the same thing with Hadley Fraser, is that they have a very, I don't know how to really explain it, but they're really like, I don't know how to say it, like, they're like, come on, they're very kind of like strict. I don't know exactly how to say this, but they're just like, now we go to supper, and they're like, come on, let's go to supper now. And the thing that does is you're like, why is she choosing him over this guy that's being insanely nice to her, being the Phantom? Hadley Fraser did the same thing. He's very like, come on, let's go, let's do this. I can't figure out the word for it right now. So that makes you side with the Phantom more. And everyone in the cast is amazing, as I said. Susan Monez, I think that's how you say her name. Again, I'm sorry if I pronounced any of your names wrong. She was awesome. I love the use of that with the cane or whatever you're gonna call it. I love her role. I love all these characters. As I said, it's my favorite musical of all time. And the music is gorgeous. Oh my god. And to say music is gorgeous is really something. It is beautiful. And since I know most of the show, basically all of the show, or at least all the Phantom scenes, exactly how they go along, I was excited to see how they change something, because there's a scene really close towards the end in the last half an hour where there's a gunshot, and I knew there was going to be a gunshot, so it didn't scare me. But then there was an extra gunshot a few minutes later, which scared me because, you know, they're loud and I didn't expect for that to happen. The fire, all these sets are amazing. I'm going to talk about something after my grade because I just want to go more into detail with it. But the way they rotate the sets, and you know, in like when Christine's singing "Think of Me," the managers Andre and Fierman and Raul are up in like the things beside it. I forget, like kind of like the booths. I forget what they're called. And he's like, can it be Christine, you know? I was like, are they going to use the actual ones that people are sitting in? And then it like turns out and they're there. I'm like, oh my god. It's just the way. They also use shadows when they're explaining the Phantom's backstory. They use shadows to show like people juggling and just him as a kid, but you never actually see the people, which is amazing. And they do use shadows on some of the main actors, like Christine's shadow. Pretty sure it was right before she goes like into the mirror. They project her shadow on more, and they project other people's shadows on to kind of foreshadow kind of some of the stuff that's going to happen. And they hide Derrick Davis as the Phantom or Eric so well in so many of these scenes. Darkness like will obscure, and all you can see is just the mask. You don't see like his white shirt or anything like that. It is fantastic. The lighting is just amazing, and obviously the whole cast, all their singing is great. It really blew me away. But the thing that actually like made me sweat the first time I saw it was that "Gentlemen," the overture, and the chandelier comes down, and I was like, whoa, because I was expecting something to be like that and didn't expect it to be that grand. This is grand. That's how great the show is. I think everyone should see this if they can. And there's a scene that had my eyes watering. I wasn't fully crying, but I was all teared up in the "All I Ask of You" reprise, which that's the song that I have emotionally connected with the most. About a year and a half ago, that'll be in that video. The power of these actors' voices are matched so well with the orchestra, conducted by Jamie Johns, if I'm not wrong, and this guy, he's amazing. Andrew Lloyd Webber has made the best, in my opinion, the best musical ever made. He's made some good or to okay ones like Cats or something, but none of them have come close to the impact of the Phantom of the Opera. There's no question about that. This is the best live show I've ever seen. It is one of the best forms of entertainment ever. This is one of the best adaptations of it. With these changes, it still manages to keep the magic and just be perfect. The Phantom of the Opera, of course, gets an A+. Now it's time to talk about some of the changes, or some things, one thing in particular that really kind of grew on me over the few hours that I saw it, because I'll put the exact time on the screen, I think down there right now. It's about 8:30, I think, somewhere around there. The exact time will be down there, because iMovie's cool and does that. I saw the show, it started at 2 o'clock, it ended at about 4:30, somewhere around there, and there's one scene that really grew on me over time, and that is the Stranger Than You Dreamt It, or yeah, I think that's what it's called exactly. It's always called something different. In that scene, normally Christine, you know, sneaks up on him and pulls off his mask, but in this one, as she's sleeping, because there's a bed there instead of like a big cage or something, there's more purple in his layer and stuff, more different colors. He actually takes it off himself and he sets it down while he's playing bum, 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 the Don Juan Triumph. I think I'm gonna say it like that, the Don Juan Triumph. And she sneaks up and she again looks at him, and then he's like, "No, damn you, you little Pangadora." That. So at first I was like, oh, that doesn't really add to the impact on it, and then I was like, wait, no, he's trying to do this, and he's trying to, you know, feel at home and seeing what she would feel like being with him, because, you know, obviously he wants her. This shirt is amazing, and I love it. So that scene, at first I was like, oh, okay, that's different. I wasn't really sure on that, and then over time I just started finding different things. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, and I think that scene is great. Obviously I give this an A+. It 10 out of 10, holy. Also, the one thing I want to talk about is just two things actually that are very important that really helped it actually was in the title song, The Phantom of the Opera, when I'm pretty sure it's when Eric or the Phantom has to sing his first line, sing once again with me. Yeah, that line. So they're up on the top of this, like, it's like rotates kind of thing, but they're up on the top, you know, kind of like the hallways down to his lair, and this platform comes out to the side, and then he like opens the door, and there's nothing. It's just on top, and it's above the rest of the stage. It's at almost the very top, and there's nothing. And they step out, and then stairs. They come out of the prop, all the way down, and I was like, whoa! Just imagine tripping on that. I was like, what are they gonna do? Oh wow! Just imagine going down the stairs, because they're like open stairs, and in the second act, when Raul goes down to the lair after the Phantom has been unmasked, he actually has to run down with quite some speed as the thing is rotating. I was like, how the hell does he not fall? And the final thing I want to talk about is the All I Ask of You reprise. As I mentioned, that song really emotionally hits me for reasons I'll talk more about in that video, but the way they do it is he's on like one of them statues, and it's at this to the back more. Actually, I'll show you a better example. To the back more, and in this song it kind of comes forward if I'm pretty sure, either comes forward as he's singing, and then it pulls back as he's all that the Phantom asks of you, and then, you know, he goes up to the top and fires this thing, makes the chandelier shake to the side and crash down, and it fell a lot farther than I thought it would. And this woman I saw who was down there, she looked up like this, like, is it gonna hit me? My musical reviews are always longer because I talk more in depth about them, and I'm sorry if you don't like long reviews, but this is how it's gonna be. And thank you all for watching. I may do another video towards this, or maybe a post on Instagram just about how much I love this, and I'm sorry I couldn't use actual video footage because the trailer of this is from like 2016. It doesn't have Derrick Davis, it doesn't have Kaitlyn Davis because she's an understudy. It may have Jordan Craig, if that's his name, and just some of the people like Carlotta and all them. They're just not the same, so I didn't really feel right using them. Some of the images I will use will not have the same Christine, and I apologize for that. There's a moment in the final layer where he's holding Christine by the neck as he's turned to Raul, and then he's like, let me see her, be my guest, and he realizes what he does, and he turns and he like holds his hand back. What have I done? What have I done? Sweet Jesus, what have I done? Become a thief in the night. And this show is fantastic. You gotta go see it just for their voices. All the actors and actresses, I just said actors just to be broad, are just phenomenal. This video will take a bit to edit. It'll probably be up Monday, but thank you all for watching so much. Please tell me if you've seen the show, since this is not even there for a month. It's there from January 8th till February 2nd, if I am correct. But if you've seen it, or if you are going to see it, comment down below, or if you saw it in some other city other than Toronto, and I will see you guys next time. Over and out.